In this video we're going to just go through the last couple of things in the program. So in the last video you may remember that we checked out check move is legal, and that was a horrible chore to get through, but we did it. So we're going to carry on through the main sub and have a look at some of the bits in more detail. So we've already seen this if statement, so we'll go past the validation. After this it says game over equals check if game will be won. Now this is finding a boolean value as to whether the Sarrum will be captured this turn. And so if we go and find check if game will be won, here it is. So we have a function which is passed the board and the coordinates of the finished square, the finished file and the finished rank. And this will return a boolean value because game over is a boolean variable. And this is quite simple. It looks at the coordinate of finish rank and finish file in the board, and it looks at the first character with the index value of 1. So remember earlier on we talked about that, it's the second character in that string. And that gives us the type of piece. And so what it's saying is if the piece which is being taken is an S, then return true, the game will be over after this game. In any other case, return false, because if it's not the Sarrum, then obviously the game is not over. And that's quite simple. So we'll move on. The next procedure is make moves. So this is quite important. This actually moves the pieces from their start place to their finish place. So this one's right at the bottom. So let's have a look at this. So we have a if command, and we say if it's white's turn and the finish rank equals 1 and the board is and the piece which is being moved is a redum. So remember we talked earlier about the redum being changed into a Martz's panny when it reaches the other end of the board. It will change into a Martz's panny so it could move backwards and around and be more versatile. So instead of just moving the piece, this then changes the finish square to WM and assigns the start square to be just empty. So we have, well, that's fairly self-explanatory. And the same is true for the black redums, which just have a different value for the finish rank. So the finish rank is 8 for them, because they need to get to the bottom of the board. And the same thing, they just change to a BM instead of a BR. If that condition isn't true, then we go to this final else clause, and it says board finish rank finish file equals board start rank start file. So this just assigns the value of the finish square the value of the start square. So it doesn't matter what piece that is, it will just move it over to where the finish square is, and it'll just empty out the start square using this command here. And that's the end of that subroutine. We got past the big ones. These feel very small now, don't they? So let's scroll back up and look at the very last subroutine, which is display winner. I wonder what that does. Let's have a look at it. Sub display winner. If the winner is, if whose turn is W and the Sarrum's being captured, black Sarrum's being captured and white wins. It's fairly simple coding. Just an if else command deciding whose turn it is. If white wins, then white wins. If black wins, then black wins. So nothing overly complicated there. And that is the final call of any function within this program. We just have a few little finishing off sections. So we have this small if statement which changes whose turn it is. So if whose turn is white, it changes to black. If it's black's turn, it changes to white. Just swaps over so we keep cycling whose turn it is. And that's the end of the game loop. So it'll loop until game over. Once the game is over, it will ask if you want to play the game again, enter YPS, and it will do the same command that we saw earlier, changing from lowercase to uppercase, so from 97 to 122, no, minus 32. And that is it for the actual code. We've been through every line of this code, and there are a lot of them, so clap clap, well done me. Now, in part D of the Comp 1 exam, the main body of that is to adapt and improve this code based on the questions you were given. So, some of you may know about the wikibooks, which are composed when one of these preliminary materials is released. And in that wikibook they place lots of they place lots of ideas as to what you'll be asked to improve in the exam. And as I'm not really sure what you want to, I mean, here's a list of all the things which have been added so far. There's 34 different things which people have suggested. Now, obviously I'm not going to do a tutorial on all 34, but if you're watching this and you want to know how to do a particular thing which you don't know how to do, then leave a comment or talk to me in real life if you know who I am, and I will do a video on it, because that's fine by me. So do whatever you want, and I'll do a solution in VB.NET. I'm afraid I can't really do it in the other solutions because, well, I'm not really familiar with those languages as well, so I'll do it in VB.NET, but I'll cover the main kind of logic and process behind it, so it should be easier to transfer over to the other languages to make it more accessible. So thank you for watching this series, and good luck in the exam.